Welcome to Shomach Shav on the Daf. She responds to Nishma Asayim B'Akasholam and Le'avas Yitzchok. We're holding Basra Daf Kufches, starting Perek Yesh Nochlin, the Perek that deals with Nachala, with inheritance in the order of Yerusha. Who comes first to be Yesh, someone who was Nifter? And right away in the first Daf, the first Sugya, we have a discussion. How do we know when does the father Yesh someone who was Nifter? And the Gemara brings two drashas. Each drasha is not so clear. The first drasha is the sheira, the sheira refers to the father, or vehevartim, that from there you know that the father comes. But as many of the Mefarshim point out, this whole Seder Yerushas and Nachalos is not only a monetary thing down here in the world, but it's shorsho ba'ulamis ha'elyonim. It has to do with divrei Kabbalah. Because the way Yerusha works is the way the different midos that Kodesh Baruch Hu reveals in the world interact. And even though this is beyond the scope of this shir, I'm just going to mention a few of the descriptions that's brought down in Divrei Rabbeinu. The Rikanti on Parshas Pinchas, when he speaks about Nachala, he says, I taught you, Ke'afilu mitzvah adinim ve'anacholos, the mitzvah of Nachala specifically, Tuluyim b'merkava ha'elyono, has to do with the merkava of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Umisham ishtalshalusam ve'atzilusam. And from there they come down to this world and being revealed in the world. And he goes on to speak about Divrei Kabbalah Mamish, but says that the name Hashem Yud Ki Vavke, the Yud and the A is connected Abba and Ima, and the Vav and then the A is connected the Ben and the Bas. So you see already in the name of Hashem, there's a gilui of what we call a mishpacha, father, mother, son, daughter. The Nachala has to do with the relationship between these midos, between these gilui and the HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Megala himself here in the world. Similarly, the Ramchal and Shorshei HaMitzvahs Klal Nun Tet, when he speaks about the Seder Nachlos, he goes in and says, Shor zeh ma shakinya mishtalshel min ha'av ve'em el abonim, ולפי סדר האוירוס של המעלה. שכך מזגלגלים אוירוס הענוגה. That's how the oiros ha'anoga work up there in Shemayim. And he continues on. He goes into Inyoni Kabbalah a little bit. And then he says, וזהו סדר היחס שתיקן האודן ברוך הוא, אל האוירוס ליסייחס זה עם זה. The oiros refers to the mitzvahs that HaKadosh Baruch Hu reveals himself, how they relate to each other. ועל כן סדר זה צריך שיסנגו ישראל. Am Yisrael have to act in that way. So these inyonim of Nachla is not stam. This inyonim of Nachla is shorsha ba'lomes ha'elyonim. The Metzudas David, or the Ritbaz, says that many people ask, they say it's not fair. What's shot? That according to the Dinei Torah, so only the son is Yerush and not the daughter. Why is that so? There's no equality? So says the Metzudas David, it's because we're not talking about son-daughter here in the world. It has to do with the way things revealed up there in Shemayim, and he's bringing the Rikanti. So that's why that's how it's coming Mizgal. It's revealed in this world. So that's something very important to remember when we're learning the Inyan of Nachlis, the Perek of Yesh Nochlin, to remember where it comes from. And here it's very appropriate to bring back what we mentioned. We learned this in Bava Daf Pedalid, the Maritz Chayes. The Maritz Chayes has an unbelievable yesod. He doesn't speak about our sugya. He speaks about the fact where it says the ayin tachas ayin. The Gemara there says ayin tachas ayin doesn't mean that if someone takes an eye, you take an eye for an eye, but you take a money. And the Gemara tries to bring drushas where we learn it from. So says the Maritz Chayes, what until the Gemara came and darshan these drushas, what happened with all the Botei Dinim and Am Yisrael till then? Did Shmuel HaNavi and his Beis Din, did David the Melech in his time, did they take an eye for an eye? He goes on to bring another example to this, that the Gemara tells us in Masechet Sukkah, what is an esrog? How do we know which fruit is an esrog? The Gemara goes to different options until we figure out through a drasha what is the fruit that's called an esrog. So he brings the Rambam in the Agdom to Perish Mishnah says, so before the Gemara came and showed us how do we know in the Torah that an esrog is an esrog? Do you think in the previous generations they used an apple for an esrog? Because they didn't know what Pri Yetzirah is? Avade not. So what's Pshat? Pshat is that we had halacha mekubelis misinai. We knew there was very clear the Torah, there was a Messiris, what's supposed to be done. What fruit to use for an esrog? And what does it mean, ayin tachas ayin? And that's so and so for and all the different things. But afterwards, Chazal came to show us where we see it in the psukim. And sometimes they were toireach to find a drasha. Sometimes the drasha was not even so clear. It's an asmachta to show where we see in the Torah Shebechtav when we had a Kabbalah Aloch L'Moshe B'Sinai. And the this connects to this sugya so much as well. Nachala, that we had a Messiah, how Nachala is supposed to work. And as we mentioned, Alpi Kabbalah, it really makes sense. That's what's supposed to be appear in the world. The Gemara now comes and says, now that we have this Messiah, where do we see it in the psukim? So the Gemara brings the machlekes as if from l'sheiroi or ve'evarto. But this is not because that's what taught it to us. That's why the drasha can be a little bit dachuk, not so clear in the pasuk, because we already knew that that's how it's supposed to be, especially that we have the Inyoni Kabbalah that teach us that that's how it's supposed to be. Anyone who wants to join the Shomachshava email list to WhatsApp group, please email shomachshava@gmail.com.